Hello everybody, this is Jumping Beans 1993, and right now I'm going to try another unscripted commentary, and this will be on the second Don Bluth movie, An American Tail. Where do I begin with this movie? Yeah, this is probably one of my favorite ones that he made. I don't remember watching it that much as a child. Well, actually I didn't at all, but I do remember watching the sequel a lot and owning it. Yeah, its sequel was released in theaters, and some American Tail fans consider it to be better than the original because of it being less depressing and stuff. Yeah. Which makes sense. Because, this is very depressing. Like some Disney films, actually. But, yeah. And it had 2 direct-to-video sequels as well. Now, for some reason I remember watching the 3rd one a bit, but not the 4th one so much. I think it's because I watched it on TV. I think it was Toon Disney or something. I wouldn't be surprised, because apparently I've heard that the original was aired on Toon Disney a little bit too. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. 'Cause, it was made by them, right? Yeah. Oh boy. It's like, I guess it makes sense, in the days when there wasn't internet, for people to be mistaking on Disney films for Disney films, but now with the internet, I feel like it shouldn't be happening at all, really. And I don't think this film is that much like a Disney film compared to some of other of Don Bluth's movies, like Thumbelina and Anastasia. I can sort of understand those films, but this film, The Secret of Niv, not so much. And apparently, according to I think it's the 3rd American Tail sequel, that there's a brief line about that basically makes the second movie non-canon. Because apparently the line is something like, Fievel says that he dreamt they moved to the Wild West instead of, actually doing it in reality. So, yeah, that's kind of weird. But, Yeah, unlike The Secret of Nim, this film was actually pretty successful at the box office. Not so much critically, but kind of the opposite of The Secret of Nim at the time of its release. And it outgrossed Disney's The Green Mouse Detective, which was released in the same year. That's definitely an accomplishment. Because I think Don Bluth was pretty much the first one to compete with Disney. And, actually succeeded for a very brief time. Until the Disney Renaissance. And that Don Bluth's films themselves during the 90s weren't as well received as previous films. Yeah. David Kirshner came up with the idea as a TV special, but Steven Spielberg thought it would work better as a movie. This was the first collaboration between Steven Spielberg and Don Bluth, actually. Yeah. First it would have anthropomorphic animals in the style of Disney's Robin Hood, but Don Bluth wanted it to be like 101 Dalmatians, where the animals talk but not to humans, because films like Robin Hood didn't do well at the box office. Yeah. I was gonna mention this in the Secret of NIMH commentary. I thought of it then, but yeah. These cats don't sound like cats at all. They look more monstrous than, like actual cats, I mean. And these cats are apparently supposed to be Cossacks, and the mice are supposed to be like Jews in Russia or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, I remember vaguely watching it for a class once and having it be like this, like, so, or the teacher told us something like that. It's like, so, I don't know, I didn't get it then, I still don't get it now, and I don't really care, but I just enjoyed a movie for what it is. That's kind of what turns me off from books, because it's always like, we're going to read this book not to have fun, but to learn something. Which, well, it's fine, except, we do all this overanalyzing and stuff, and it's like, I kind of want to read books to enjoy them. Because, I mean, they're not just educational books. If it was educational books, of course, then yeah, that's the whole point, but it's just normal books read for the purpose of educating. It's like, kind of turns me off from books in that sense, because it's like, I don't want to overanalyze this and that and what themes there are. It's like, I don't care. Is it really gonna matter much in the end of the day? I mean, I guess they're good skills to learn, but I don't know. I like this scene. It's funny. It's funny because Fievel won't stop. Well, stopping the crowd and pointing out the obvious and stopping the music. It's like, yeah. Even the band is angry at him. Everyone's angry at him. And as you're gonna see, these sequels are gonna get angry at him too. Even they want him to keep walking, and they're not part of this at all, so yeah. I mean, normally it would be annoying, but they make it work here, so it's actually funny in a pathetic sort of way, like, Fievel, seriously? I just don't get why you keep wanting to point out the obvious. Like, well, and question everything. He's probably doing that more than the former, so it's like, no. Well, your house is burned down currently, so you have to get a new one, so... yeah. Besides, he thinks there are no cats in America, even though obviously that's not true, because all you have to do is put simple logic into it, and then you'll realize that that statement is completely false. I don't know where he got it from, I don't know why he's suddenly believing it, I don't know why so many people are starting to believe him when he tells everyone about it. So, I mean, it's just ignoring reality, because aren't there, like, cats everywhere in the world, pretty much? Of course, obviously they're not. There are many different kinds of species that are in different parts of the world, but a cat is a cat is a cat, so it doesn't matter what kind it is. At least it won't matter to them. Cat! 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 I think of that scene in Alice in Wonderland where the Dormouse... well, it's actually two different scenes where the Dormouse freaks out because someone says the word cat and he starts going berserk. And they have to put jelly on his nose to calm him down. This song is the very definition of mood whiplash. I'm serious, if you look in the dictionary to try to look up the term, a picture of this scene will come up. Is it Spanish or Italian? I'm not sure. It gets worse when the next mouse comes up the scene. It's like a big, major mood whiplash. Even more so than the previous two. And he doesn't have a tail himself. I just noticed that from reading about it on IMDb. I was like, yeah, that's true, he doesn't have a tail. Irony. Look at this. Again, why do they all suddenly think that that's actually true? Timing! This is actually a redo, well, one of a commentary that wasn't finished. Because I had to stop it in the middle, and, you know, I didn't like how it was turning out, so I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna redo it. 'Cause hopefully this version will turn out better than the last one. Because, really, I think unscripted commentaries can work. I think I should probably just try and, like, write down notes and facts, or maybe just watch the movie once, write down notes, but not directly go off of the script. And not have so many things to say at once, because it just doesn't flow well. It's like, when I'm stating a bunch of facts, it feels like it's just rapid fire, and I don't give myself time to pause, so you actually have time to take in what I'm saying. But, yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I just want to have a balance, you know, just keep the commentary flowing, have a lot to say, but not try to say too much at once, you know. Should probably practice that. Because I just got the Free Cavios commentary finished now, so I'm gonna try and maybe not quote the script so much, or what was the word? Or just pause more in between what I'm gonna say. Okay, now that topic is over, back to the film. Because that had nothing to do with the film at all. You know, what is this obsession with fish? I just don't get it. And, yeah. And this is all thanks to your obsession with fish. This is gonna get pretty weird soon. Let's just say that. Like here. Why is there a wave that looks like a monster? Why? It's probably supposed to be symbolic, but even then it's still kind of weird. Don Bluth planned to have there be a bunch of wave monsters and have the scene go on longer, but Spielberg cut that out because he thought the scene would be too intense for kids, which kind of started a trend of executive meddling in Don Bluth movies, in which Don has some dark elements in his movies that are cut out, like in Rock-a-Doodle and I think Pebble and the Penguin. So, I definitely remember a specific scene that was cut out in Rock-a-Doodle because it was too dark. I actually remember what was involved. Basically, it was involved the Grand Duke of Owls eating a skunk. The scene was shortened a lot from its original version. So, and Tanya's name is changed to Tilly here. She is a fairly important character, so it might be confusing if you're not paying attention to. It's like, why is her name changed all of a sudden? And there was a scene cut very early on showing the family's journey from their home to the boat. In the final version, it just cuts straight from their house being burned to them getting ready to go on the ship. And again, this reminds me of not 101 Dalmatians, Alice in Wonderland, again, because Fievel was in a bottle on the ocean, just like Alice was in a bottle on the ocean. And apparently the water changed color. The pigeon is voiced by Christopher Plummer, who also voiced the Grand Duke of Vels in Rockadoodle. Again, I mentioned that movie. Which, just so you know, I have never seen that movie. The only thing I know is from the Nostalgia Critic. And that it's supposed to be a very weird movie. And supposedly not all that entertaining, like a good kind of weird. Just more like weird for the sake of being weird, but we'll see when we get to that one. Won't that be fun? And Philip Glasser, who voices Fievel, also voices one of the kids in A Troll in Central Park. I forget his name. I think it's Gus, but yeah. Which I've seen that film, but not in a really, really, really long time. Why is he babying him? Because he's not related to him at all. That just seems weird to me. Apparently, from what I've read on TV tropes... Oh, talking too fast. Gotta slow down. Apparently, from what I've read on TV tropes, the Statue of Liberty actually started out gold, but rusted to its current green color. You know, it does look good in gold, but I still don't think I could imagine it being gold. Because, I don't know. If Looney Tunes is accurate at all, which it probably isn't, the Statue of Liberty became green during the 40s or so. Why does he have 3 multicolored pigeons with him? 3 girl multicolored pigeons with him, that is. It's just one of those names where I can't help but think of something from a video game, and in that case I'm thinking of Pokemon. Yeah, I talk about Pokemon during an American Tail commentary. Yeah, makes sense to me! Seriously. But that's what happens sometimes. And apparently the Statue of Liberty was built by a pigeon in this movie? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, my U.S. history class did a reenactment of the immigration on Ellis Island. That was interesting. Didn't do that well on it. But, I don't know, that's kind of what you can expect from doing it the first time. It's like... because I'm not always that great at understanding things, but... Yeah, they had a card stating your name. There were things you weren't supposed to say to them. The cockroach is voiced by Will Ryan, most likely using a sped up version of his voice, which he seems to do a lot for his characters, because he sort of sounds similar to, what's his name from Land Before Time, Petrie, and he also sounds like the seahorse from The Little Mermaid. Yeah. Kind of reminds me of Mel Blanc in a way, because he uses sped up voices for some of his characters that he voices. Porky Pig, Speedy Gonzales, yeah, Daffy Duck, and so on. Yeah. And the cockroach character is apparently a revamped version of a scrapped termite character from the short. That was going to be in the short Banjo the Woodpile Cat. Yeah, I thought briefly about commentating on that short to start out, but then I was like, you know what, I'm just going to focus on the Dawn Blue films for now. But I might comment on that short later. Then I could, find it in 5 seconds, so yeah. Because I'm just lazy like that sometimes. Not as lazy as this guy. Yes, trust him. Yeah, you know where that's gonna lead to. A big rant about how characters like him shouldn't be trusted so easily, yada yada yada. I think I've done that before in Pinocchio, so I don't really need to do it again. The character Fievel was named after Spielberg's grandpa. He wasn't sure whether he wanted to use it or not, since he thought the name would be too weird and hard to remember. And that's a pretty good point. Except now, a lot of people don't even seem to remember the name of the film that well at all. They'll call it, Fievel or something like that. There's probably several variations that people might use, but yeah. Because I don't know. It's only 3 words long. You'd think it'd be an easy film name to remember, but apparently not. A lot of people seem to get it wrong. Aside from, confusion it for a Disney film. I've already talked about that, so yeah. This scene was going to be longer, too. There was a song cut, which would have been sung by Fievel here, about working opportunities in America, apparently. And this character, Tony, was actually voiced by Girl Pet Music, which that seems to happen a lot, which makes sense considering, it's more convenient than just hiring young boys to do the voices. And, have to worry about, puberty, their voices changing so they can no longer do the characters properly. At least most of them. That scene was based off of a story Steven Spielberg remembered about his grandfather, who told him that Jews at the time were only able to listen to school lessons through open windows while sitting outside in the snow. Or whatever weather it happens to be outside. Could be blazing hot or it could be snowy. Yeah, open windows, not closed windows. They can hear what's going on inside. They just aren't in there. It's better than what happened to them later on. And this movie, as Nostalgia Critic puts it, is basically a giant tease. Because several times throughout the movie, Fievel thinks he hears his father, but it's not actually him. It's like, yeah, you'll see what it actually is. I mean, since the film, is about Fievel getting back to his parents, yeah, it's not over yet. We're only like halfway through or so. You see? It's just a record player. Yeah. And he'll realize it in 3, 2, 1. RIP headphone users. And RIP Fievel. I don't know who came up with that joke on YouTube, but it's pretty funny. Because people will put that in the comments section all the time. That or something referenced to, like, my left ear really enjoys this video when it's a mono sound video. YouTube just has a thing for memes in general. The humans were rotoscoped in this movie, which means that they shot scenes in live action and they were traced onto animation cells, making them look very realistic compared to the animal characters. Sounded like he said gay, but no. This takes place in like 1870 or something, so that wouldn't make sense. He actually said, I think, something like gazed. Which I guess is similar to dazed, Oh. Yeah. Yeah, this is like this is definitely what I call an American Tail moment, where someone is looking for someone else, and they repeatedly pass by them, and when all they have to do is just look an inch to their left or right or so, and they'll see what they're looking for, but they don't. We should do something about him first. Because look at him. He's getting Twitter-pated. Yes, they fall in love instantly. His eyes are even doing that, like, up and down motion, which Thumper's eyes did in Bambi at one point. Can't even talk! No. You just made it worse. He's Twitter-pated. Nearly everyone gets Twitter-pated in the springtime. First you begin to get weak in the knees. Your head's in a whirl. You stop. And before you know it, you've completely lost your head. And before you know it, you're walking on thin air. And it could happen to anyone. It could happen to you, and yes, even you. Yes. No cats in America, huh? Wait until he tells everyone else about this. I'm pretty sure these are supposed to be the same cats from the opening, because they certainly look like them, you know. The Cossack cats. Cossack. You know, all this talking about Cossack is making me think of Mega Man 4. Yeah. Actually, during production, the staff were not allowed to talk about the film to each other or their friends or family. Pretty noticeable, because they really wanted to make sure this film was a surprise to everyone. Honest John? Yeah, this entire film I kept thinking he was gonna be evil, but he's not. He's not honest, but he's a good guy. Yeah. Like, seriously, this entire time. Huh. Hold on. It's melting the floor? I think I learned about this in high school during U.S. history class or something. Who sounds like Elmer Fudd. If Elmer Fudd was a girl and not a hunter. Really? No! I can't believe people thought that was attractive. Oy. I think those are called corsets or something. You know, that make their butts look bigger than they actually are. Like, seriously. Oh. You know, for kids. DVD'd version has added dialogue, sound effects compared to the original theatrical version and the VHS version. I'm not sure why they did that, and they dubbed over the voices of the orphans during a scene towards the end of the movie. I'm gonna find that video again and put a link to it in the description so you can see the differences between the original voices and the dubbed over voices. Yeah. Ah, yes, there we go. The song that everyone remembers from this movie, and also happens to be the movie's, quote, award bait song. And, well, I guess in this sense it's like Disney, they have an award bait song that's reprised in the credits with different singers. And of course, maybe Don Bluth did it first, because I'm trying to think. Because I think Beauty and the Beast was the first Disney film to do it like that. But this came, I know, several years before Beauty and the Beast, so I don't know. I might look it up. Or I might not and just forget about it or something. Yes, people. Newsflash. I'm kind of lazy and somewhat forgetful. So, here. Tom Baller? Yeah. It's got some symbol on the A. I don't know what that is. Like an accent or something. So yeah. Okay, this guy was originally approached to write the film's songs before the decision was made to hire Barry Mann and Cynthia Well. Actually, an interesting thing about the deleted scenes is that, due to some of them being cut, the baby, the Mousekewitz family's baby, is never seen after the first quarter or so of the movie. That is a very good point. And by they, you mean one pigeon, apparently. You know, it's kind of hard to take her seriously when she talks like that constantly. I mean, well, I guess it's that and like the accent combined with the way she says, the way she talks like Elmer Fudd. You know. Yeah. Yeah, no one knows. They all want to do something about it, but yet they don't know what to do. Because, you know, they're mice, and thus really, really tiny. And the cats are really big, obviously, so yeah. And those cats are mean. And what did he say? What did he say? What? And thanks to you, Fievel hasn't been reunited with his parents yet. This time they didn't miss him per se. Someone was just in the way, so they couldn't see Fievel. Right there, in front of everyone. So isn't that odd? Their hideout, or I can't think of the word for it, but it's in a museum. A creepy museum. Oh. Well, that's what all the torches are for, of course. To light up the room to some extent. At least I'm fairly certain. Yeah, the music is probably one of the highlights of this film, just like Secret of NIMH. And here it was composed by James Horner, who I also composed the music for The Pagemaster. Yeah. Another movie I commentated on. So who knows, we might be seeing this guy a lot throughout the Dawn Blue film marathon. I don't think so. Because, you know, because he has honest in the name, he must definitely be honest. The museum is a scary place, too. And this is going to be a running gag throughout the American Tale films. Tony is never on time for anything. And it always gets him in trouble somehow. It's gonna get Fievel in trouble too, because he can't keep up. Doesn't even have his pants on. It. You think he would have, you know, not gone after that news by now, you know? Because remember what happened when he did something like this the last time? It turned out to be a record player. So what's it gonna be this time? And what was that? A dinosaur? I have no idea. And I don't want to know either. Because it never appears again. It's a blam, in other words. Eh. This cat here, Tiger, is the only nice cat in the film. And he's voiced by Dom DeLuise, who also voiced Jeremy the Crow in The Secret of NIMH. We're gangster cats, we don't do rummy. We only do manly gangster games like poker and... yeah. Not really. Hold on a second. Why is he with the cats? He's a mouse. He's a cat. He's not a rat. He's a cat. Should be warranty cat, not warranty rat. That was weird. And they actually trusted this guy. I mean, not only is he a cat, but he's not honest anyway. So... it's weird to see him here, considering I grew up with the sequel, 5-0 Goes West. Yeah, these aren't Kozak cats. They look like they're American, but probably have some relation to the Kozak cats we saw before. Some sort of... what do the M's on their shirts stand for? Monster? Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. In 3, 2, 1. Mine. Just when he thought he was safe. Again, timing! Because we Americans don't care about what happens to Hong Kong. I do, but they don't seem to. It's good for America, but it's not good for Hong Kong, because they're gonna be having a bunch of cats there. So, yeah. Oh, and yeah, bright idea, sending this guy to guard Feifel. Yeah, brilliant! Yeah, his name is Tiger, okay? I can't believe I just forgot his name for a second. Yeah. But my point still stands. Typical villain stupidity right there. Not only do they have henchmen that aren't competent, but they let the incompetent henchmen do stuff like this, which they're obviously going to fail at. Yeah. He's not stupid or anything, he's just not a good henchman because, well, he's nice. He's a vegetarian. He doesn't like mice. And oddly enough, that reminds me of Shark Tale. The whole vegetarian thing. Except it was a shark instead of a cat, but... Yeah, that came out wrong. Ew. Broccoli, no. No! Just no! Oh, now I think I know what the M on their shirts stand for. Mean. There you go. It's perfect. That's totally it. He does. What kind of a book would that be? Yeah. During production, Don Bluth showed the difference between limited animation, like in Hanna-Barbera cartoons, and full animation, like in feature films. His staff made 2 stacks of paper, one representing 2 minutes of limited animation, and the other representing 2 minutes of full animation. The limited animation pile reached up to his shoe, the other reached up to his eyes. Which is ironic, considering movies like Ferngully are about saving the rainforest, yet a bunch of trees were chopped down to make that movie, and other movies similar to it. It's like Animat said, you must have no heart to the environment to work on an animated feature film. I love that line. Apparently the idea of Fievel actually scratching his back during this song was something that Dom DeLuise himself came up with. Why are they changing colors? He's smaller than Fievel is! You're fired! And you can't quote Shakespeare at all. Why he was working there to begin with, I don't know. If he likes mice and all, then yeah. Yeah. Now it makes sense. I mean, makes sense to me why there are several deleted scenes in this film, because the end of the film seems to be a lot more faster paced than the beginning. I mean, this isn't the climax of the film. We've still got like 20 minutes left. So, yeah. So, you know, it makes sense why there are some scenes cut again, because you know, maybe it's just me, but it seems like his size is never consistent throughout the film. Or maybe not, but Either way, it still seems like he's taller than some of the mouse. Like, I don't know. I'm not gonna try and think about it too hard. Hong Kong. If they can manage to learn whatever language they speak there. I think it's Chinese. Oh boy. A few seconds later? Well, that, but... Yep. Here we go. He stops that, just to have to release it a few seconds later. Yeah! Yeah, that's good. Very good thing to say to that. Make up your mind. I never thought of saying that. See about that. Oh no. Look at that. That is both creepy yet epic at the same time. The mouse of Minx was also rotoscoped like the humans. Which explains why it looks so realistic compared to everything else. But he was so evil before, and look at him now. I don't know how Fievel came up with this idea, but however he did, it was awesome. There will be other kids. Here we go again. Can't they jump off the anchor? That's the only bit of dialogue that was added to the DVD release that I know was added for sure. Other than that, I don't know of any other dialogue that was added to this movie that wasn't in the original. Not sure of any specific sound effects either. You know, I sort of wanted to find the VHS version just to have it, maybe to see the differences specifically, and you know, just have the original theatrical version to comment on, but oh well. Like, I never really watched this film at all as a kid, so I've never really noticed. Kind of like with the changes made to The Lion King and films like that, because yeah, I watched those films as a kid, but I'm not gonna know about how they changed the animation or whatever from the original to the new DVD version. A lot of people do, and are reasonably angry about it, and for good reason, but really? Oh. Then it is him. Yeah. Yeah, why did he say his name was Bo Fievel and Philly? Like, it should be, you know, Fievel's his real name, Philly is his nickname. Yeah, I should watch and see how exactly he ended up from there to here. I guess the orphan alley was down there. Not sure. Yeah, this is the scene I was talking about. The orphans' voices are completely different in the DVD version compared to the theatrical version. Which doesn't make sense at all. Yeah, it reminds me of the changes that they made to The Hobbit. They have added sound effects. No, wait, not added sound effects. They took out some of the sound effects. But they also had an added line that was like something like, "Extinguish me," and when he's on fire and he yells it, or something like that. I'll have to watch it again. Well, I haven't seen the actual film. I watched the commentary for the film, so yeah. That's Disney Gemini 1991. And you wonder why I said in Pinocchio that kids were my worst nightmare. Well, actually, they're not. That was a joke, but I'm not one of those people that think they're all always pure and innocent. I'm not going to get into too much detail about that. More multicolored birds. A scene that was cut here involved showing how Tiger meets the Mousequit's family. In the film, they're just suddenly seen riding Tiger to look for Fievel with no exclamation as to why he is suddenly trusted all of a sudden. And it's right here. And why is she with them? But Honest John isn't with them, and yeah. It's right there again! They do this like 2 or 3 times in the movie. It's ridiculous. Like, and I actually counted, like, when I watched this movie one time, I was like, I'm gonna count how many times Fievel just misses seeing his parents, because yeah, I remember its Nostalgia Critic talking briefly about this movie and how it happens quite a bit. Because apparently he thinks that Don Bluth's philosophy is that kids can handle just about anything as long as you attach a happy ending to it. Yeah, she just knew. Magically. What a place indeed. Because obviously, if you look at my channel or just listen to one of my videos, you will know that yes, I am indeed from America. I don't think anyone is going to be shocked by that. That was an odd transition. Yeah, towards the end it happens. I'm running out of things to say. That's okay, because we're almost at the end. And it happens with every commentary, really. I always have problems trying to have a good approach to comment on the ending, because at that point I want to get for the film, you know. So I sort of have a tendency to rush that part of the commentary. But at least I'm doing much better than last time. I have a lot more things to say at this time, so I'll try to keep this type of approach for other commentaries if I decide to do them unscripted from now on or what. Either way, I got through An American Tail. Hooray! It was definitely turned out to be a lot better of a commentary, I think, than the Secret of Nim one. Not that that one was bad, but it's kind of a little slow at parts. Yeah. After this, I'm probably just gonna go ahead and do the Free Cavios commentary now that I have the script finished, and I think I'm gonna decide, do I like my scripted commentaries better or my unscripted commentaries better? Should I do it like this except better, or just do it scripted but not, like, space out the comments a little more? I don't know. I was thinking maybe I could just watch it once, take notes, and then watch it again and comment on it that way, so there isn't as much blank spots, but I don't know. So let's see. How do I wrap this up? Well, obviously I need to get my thoughts on the film. Yeah, it has good characters and good music and a good story like Secret and Him, but it's a film I can get into a little more. I don't know. I guess I'm somewhat biased towards it because I remember growing up with the sequel, so I'm kind of already very familiar with the characters. Oh yeah, here we go. The reprise of Somewhere Out There. Oh, thanks for telling me who's on this. Because I was fully thinking of just, you know what, I'm going to look up who sings this version, but yeah. Because in the film it's, well, sung by the people who voiced the characters. Well, Tanya's singing voice is different, but if you really want to know, it's Betsy Cathcart. Speaking voices, Amy Green. Yeah. I might as well mention it now, because I can't think of anything to say right now off the bat. Hal Smith voices Mo, and he's done a fair amount of characters in animated films and cartoons. He took over for Winnie the Pooh at one point. Took over for Elmer Fudd at one point. And I'm probably missing some obvious characters that he's known for voicing, but we're almost at the end anyway. I don't think I'll have too much time to go over them. Oh, yeah. I thought the song won an award of some kind. I wasn't sure what it was, but now I just realized that it won a Grammy Award. Because I'm like, it's a famous song. I'm sure it won an award of some kind. So, yeah. Aside from probably being played on radio stations. It's kind of a minor pet peeve of mine, you know, when they play these versions over the end credits instead of the versions from the actual film. Which sometimes I like better, but I don't know. I don't know, but I just think I kind of would prefer the originals to be played on the radio more than the versions during the credits. But I guess it's a rights thing or something, you know. The radio stations only got the rights to play that version of the song. But that's basically the end of the movie. I will see you for the next commentary.